Von Allen Sports.
This is the man with the most badass name in sports. The Pharaoh, the Egyptian god himself, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And on behalf of my man Von Allen, we want to thank you for your support. Let's fucking go.
Hey there, how you doing? Coach here outside of beautiful Arrowhead Stadium, home of the Kansas City Chiefs. You're watching Von Allen Sports, real and honest NFL analysis. So subscribe now and join the empire. Von Allen Sports, let's go, baby.
Von Allen Sports.
That was outstanding on so many levels. Look at that torque.
Look at that torque indeed. Look at that torque. Look at that torque. I think this microphone can handle it. Look at that torque. Dude, it's still redlining. Let me see what that sounds like. Check this out. I'll monitor that. Look at that torque. Hey, that's okay. Torque, 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 torque. Ma. Torque. Someone just closed their windows. In response to me. Yeah. Well, that's what you get, mother, for singing all week long on a Wednesdays. On Sunday mornings, you and your gay boyfriend are doing the things and doing the nasty every Sunday morning at 8 o'clock. And then the other guy's fighting with his boyfriend. And there's another apartment with this guy snoring. That's what you get. You get to listen to me. At least you're getting good product here and you're getting good information. So. Losers. Don't talk to me. That was my black voice. How you guys doing? So, all right, I'm going to tell you something. I've never seen more torque than in Patrick Mahomes' knee when he stepped right into it. Did you see the torque on the knee? The torque, it went like that. It was like, there's a lot of torque. There was a lot of torque there in the knee. And I'll tell you, let's see, 2008, it was the Kansas City Chiefs who tore up Brady's leg, right? That could have been avoided. We've seen the replay on that. That wasn't necessary at all. That piece of shit that did that, he made t-shirts during that season. Imagine making t-shirts because you put a guy out for the year. Okay? Possibly could have been career ending. Sometimes it is. But he made t-shirts, right? Bernard Pollard was his name. He ended up playing for the Ravens later. But he made t-shirts. So the Chiefs thought that was funny. They thought that was funny. They enjoyed it. Chiefs fans thought, haha, we're the ones that put up Brady. Haha, we suck. Our team's terrible, but at least we got Brady out of there, right? Interesting. Let's see. And then fast forward to 2018. I seem to remember, wait a minute. They were shining a laser in Brady's eyes. Really? Now, whether or not you believe that could actually injure somebody, and actually not sure. I know certain lasers can damage, and I know even like the cat toy, you're not supposed to shine in people's eyes. But I don't know how far a distance or how powerful a laser has to be. I don't know any of that. All I do know is that the idea of trying to do it was to screw with Tom Brady's vision. Now, let's say That guy that using the laser maybe didn't know, okay? But he could have damaged Tom's eyes. The point is he was trying to stop Brady from being able to see. That was his goal. Whether it was, okay? I understand, like, trying to play a joke, like some reflective mirror or something, whatever. That would be, okay. But a laser, and again, I don't know how powerful that laser was. It was powerful enough for us to see it. But again, I don't know the details of how a laser, how powerful they have to be or all that. So I'm not going to pretend to know. But this is who they are. This is who they are. So the problem with Patrick's just happened on its own. It just popped. It just popped. He just stepped in and popped. Okay? That's it. I will tell you this much. If Patrick knew how to throw from the pocket, his ACL wouldn't be torn right now. Because he wasn't getting hit, right? Running constantly puts wear and tear on your legs. And if that's all you do all the time, we've said this. How many times on this show have we said this? The pocket has rules. You're not allowed to do certain things to quarterbacks in the pocket. The NFL made these rules so the quarterback could do his job, right? That's the deal. So the offensive line, their job is to stop the guy from getting into the pocket, but you can't do illegal shit in the pocket. That's your safety zone. You decide to leave that pocket. If you get hurt in the pocket, well, there's nothing you can do about it, right? Like somebody coming down on your knee, like a Bernard Pollard coming, taking you down by the leg, even though you knew the ball, you knew you had no effect on that play. Or Ndamukong Suh sitting down on people and stepping on people and stuff. And I mean, you can't really do a lot about that, right? But what you can do is prevent the idiotic injuries that happen outside the pocket. And you can at least minimize them. But the more you go out of the pocket, the more you get hit. The more you run around, the more strain on your legs. That's a wide receiver's job. That's a tight end's job. That's a running back's job. That's their job, to go out, run for you. And we have a lot of those guys. You understand? We have a lot of those guys. So if you're the Chiefs, you have a bunch of those guys on your roster. It's why you carry so many wide receivers, so many tight ends, so many running backs. Okay, we have those guys because we know that there's going to be a chance that they're going to get injured because they're doing those things, right? We only have one Patrick Mahomes. Okay? You only have one Tom Brady. You only have one Aaron Rodgers. You have one Josh Allen, and so on. Don't say you got a backup. You ain't got a backup. Nobody's got a backup. Anybody with a good quarterback in this league does not have a backup. You have no replacement for that guy. He's one. He's the only one. And you have him running around like an idiot, trying to be the best athlete on the field, trying to be a hero, and shit like this happens. Not that it would have made a difference for the Chiefs anyway. They were not going to make the playoffs anyway. But this is a big problem now because now Patrick's injury is going to carry over into midway of the next year at least. And that's if everything goes well. See, Tom's injury was in week 1. Patrick Mahomes' injury is in week 15. So Tom not only, and Tom had a setback, by the way. There was an infection in his surgery and he had to redo it. Or not redo it, but clean out the infection. He had to go back. I mean, so if everything goes well for Patrick, he'll be back mid-season. The rest of the season will be shit. You guys remember Tom's 2009 season, okay? So, and Tom wasn't even relying on physicality. He was a pocket passer. Patrick's entire game relies on him being able to get away when his second read fails. So next year's gone, okay? The Chiefs might as well kiss next year goodbye. They need to look for a veteran quarterback is what they need to do. If I were the Chiefs, I'd be calling Joe Flacco right now. Right now. Call Joe Flacco. Okay? Mahomes will be ready 2027. Okay? So the next season's gone as far as like being relevant, as far as the Chiefs actually doing something. Unless you get a Joe Flacco that carries you, which is possible. If you get a good veteran quarterback that can carry you in, but let's say that they don't do that, and let's say it just goes bad. And then 2027 now you're looking at, You're looking at 2027. You're going to need Patrick Mahomes to play really well in 2027 because why? The team is going to be completely different. Nothing that you've seen is going to be there now. And any guys who are there are going to be shadows of themselves. Okay? It's going to be like 2007, 2008 when you got Brewski and Harrison out there, and it's embarrassing, right? They're like, okay, but it's just really the team is just so good, but they look kind of awkward and weird. That's the best case scenario if you're talking about Chris Jones or someone like that. Maybe, okay? The only one is probably their kicker, right? Who's awesome, by the way. But I really wish he was our kicker. That'd be awesome. But that's what you're looking at. That's what you're looking at projection wise. So 2027 for Mahomes to get back and actually feel okay and feel like, you know, he's back. So what the hell did I just see? Nefertiti. Nefertiti. Basement dweller. She left the tag on my shirt. Let's see. Bring scissors. So you can't stop injuries. You can't do that, but you can minimize them. You can minimize them. This is why even pocket passers get hurt. But what you don't want is you don't want an injury that is caused by yourself. Okay? And you can minimize those. Again, you cannot shield yourself from these type of things, but you can at least keep them from happening to you by doing that. And people always pop their shit when they're running like that. They always do. It happens all the time. Okay, now I got that out of the way. As far as for Patrick personally, that sucks, man. It really does. It sucks. He's got a long hard road ahead of him. But he also is worth $500 million. He'll get over it. He's got a pretty wife. He's got a nice family, cute kids. He's got a good life. It'll be okay. All right. A lot of people get these injuries on the job and construction sites and stuff, and they ain't got shit. So I'll just say that. But I personally like Patrick, and there's some personal reasons why I'm not going to discuss here. But I think most of you know. Look at this shit.
Oh, and so?
Well, I need it off.
Well, babe, it's okay.
Get me that shit.
Oh, God.
Oh. You know what? This is probably a bad idea. I'm just going to leave it for right now. I'll do it when I take it off. All right. So whatever. Yeah. So it sucks. It really does. But as far as like for the team, yeah, those fans, man. I mean, karma's a bitch. You know, like Peyton, Tom and Peyton, they both missed a full season, right? Those both had injuries that were done by people to them. So Peyton can remember, he said he can remember when it happened to him. He thinks it happened to him against the Saints. I think that's what he said. And he seems to recall, you know. Kurt can remember. Kurt said basically he knew he was done after the Saints game. It happened to be the Saints again. Brett Favre was not the same after the Saints game. The Saints again. But, I mean, it's... Yeah. Guys, stop leaving the pocket. Learn how to throw. from the pocket. Okay? Yes, it's not going to be as good at NFL with no Patrick Mahomes next year. Even if you like to hate watch the Chiefs, it's still not cool. I love quarterbacks. I love watching quarterbacks. I love talking about quarterbacks. It also ruins my quarterback formula because then Patrick won't even play until halfway through the season. And so I've got to put in some other douchebag that I don't even know unless they get someone I like. And then it'll be fun. But who knows what they'll do. We're not going to be able to see what Gardner Minshew can do for the rest of the year because they're going to be probably tanking for a pick. So we're not even going to be able to see if he can play anymore or if he ever could. Although the guy does have a great mustache and great hair. So he's got that going for him. Hey, Hillman, you know what? Yeah, I'd say he is the only guy I've ever seen that can run and look like he's taking like a glamour shot, you know. Weird guy. Strange guy. But yeah. This will affect Mahomes more than it will affect the way it affected Carson Palmer and Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and guys like that. I'm not even going to mention Peyton. I'm going to throw Peyton out of that because Peyton's was a neck injury anyway. I wouldn't include Drew Brees in there either. That was a shoulder injury, and both those injuries actually ended up ending their career. But Mahomes relies on his legs too much. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. But you know what? In today's NFL, with the way these quarterbacks are, I mean, he's still going to be dominant. He's still going to be, as far as like superstar status. I don't know if he'll be, winning anything, but he'll still get attention. He'll be his stock value will be high, even if he's not even putting up stats. He won't have to, just because there's not any other guys. There's one quarterback in the NFL right now. There's one, and then there's everyone else. Okay, and it's like, honestly, it feels kind of like 2000 or 2001, right? It's like there was a moment when Elway retired and Marino retired, and then there was Brett Favre. That was it. There's just Brett Favre, and there's no one else. It was Steve Young is gone. They're all gone, and then all of a sudden, Peyton Manning starts playing well, and then Kurt Warner shows up out of nowhere, and at first you're like, is this guy really good? And then after like a few years, you're like, wow, he really is good, and then all these guys start to come up. I'm hoping we're due for that. I'm hoping that could happen, but right now it's just one guy. There's one guy right here, and everybody else is over here. So there's this guy, then there's some other dudes. There's like 5 other dudes down here. Then there's a whole mess of shit. And then there's the rest of the quarterbacks under that. So they're buried under the shit. Like in the greatest movie ever made, X-Men Apocalypse, Israel, right? The greatest movie ever made, X-Men Apocalypse. Israel loves this movie. Okay. He raves about it on X all the time. He loves this movie. I love this movie. We talk about how great it is. Should have gotten 10 Oscars. Okay. But in that movie, Apocalypse is betrayed in the past in ancient Egypt. And his people try to save him, but he falls down this huge pit. And then he gets hit, right? And then all this rubble and shit falls on top of him. And he's stuck under there. And he doesn't get out for thousands of years. That's the rest of the NFL compared to Josh Allen. Okay? That's everybody else. That's the difference. Josh Allen is a fucking robot. I don't know what he is. He's a fucking animal. He's a fucking indestructible or something. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get how you can plow through dudes. I don't get how you can fucking let guys hang off of you. I don't know how you can, do Gronk bullshit and at the same time run around like you're Lamar Jackson and at the same time throw from, I don't know. I don't know, without getting injured is my point. I don't know. I don't know why Josh doesn't get hurt. I mean, I can't explain it. So maybe he is a robot. Indestructible Josh Allen, maybe? I don't know. So we'll see. Surely I thought Josh would have something bad happen to him by now, just by the way he plays. But it's odd, man. It's odd. He is literally the Buffalo Bills. Okay? He's the Buffalo Bills. If he wasn't playing for the Buffalo Bills, they would be complete dog shit. Because not even their running game would work. The running game would not work because that's all they would have. That would be a joke. It's just... Dude's a freak of nature. If Josh Allen can get some Super Bowls, that's the thing that he's missing. If he had Super Bowls, that's the guy that would really be scary, If you're third, fourth, fifth best quarterback of all time, you would be worried about Josh if he had some Super Bowls on his belt. But I fear that we're going to see the greatest player, not named Dan Marino, to not win a Super Bowl. And I think that's actually possible because of the organization he's with. For some reason, they are allergic to winning at big games. They just are. It's weird. It's weird, man. I just don't get it. Yeah, Ace, that's what I'm saying. He keeps doing that stuff, man. He keeps plowing through people. He acts like he's Rob Gronkowski. I mean, it's strange. And yet, there he is, playing again. There he is, starting again. It's weird, man. We saw Brett Favre play like that. Not to that extent as far as like taking on guys like you're a bull. I mean, he did some of that, but not every game like Josh does. And we know Favre was able to stay on the field for a long time. Maybe he's just genetically one of those people. I tell you, luck is involved too. Dude, I played every full contact sport you can imagine. Everything from the time I was a little kid. So I played football. By the time I graduated high school, I swear half the guys in my team that, before we graduated, half of them probably had a broken bone of some sort, broken leg, broken arm, or whatever. Me, nothing. Hockey, nothing. Every sport played. Even guys who play basketball, injuries. Me, nothing. Not a broken finger. Nothing, dude. Nothing. Played sports all the way into my 30s. Nothing. I turned 40. I go and play tennis. I decide I'm going to be cool, and I was going to taunt my friend. We were playing doubles that day, so there were four of us. I was going to taunt one of my friends who's a Chiefs fan, right? So I thought I'd be funny and wear my Patriots shoes out there. Well, my Patriots shoes are designed basketball shoes. They're not made for the tennis court. And me being an avid tennis player and a tennis fan, I knew better, but I decided I was going to mess with them. Well, guess what happens? So I go back for a shot, trying to get to the shot. My foot stops. It does not slide. Now in tennis, you need your feet to slide. My foot didn't slide, threw me backwards. And I didn't go up like where you can, kind of anticipate your fall. And the best thing would have been for me to like put my hand down, and if I'd broken my wrist or something, that's fine. No big deal, you know? But no, it was one of these falls where it goes boom, and you go down hard real fast. So you have no time to, you don't even know what happened. And that's when I fractured my hip. Just popped it. Boom, broke it. Right there. Doctor said, Aaron, you hit this perfectly. I could have fallen down that way 100 times. And 99 times, I just would have had a sore ass. But that I hit it, that little button on the side of your hip, that little, you can feel it, right? That little button on the side of your hip. Check this shit out. Okay. So I get an x-ray. They start looking at everything. And the doctor says, and the doctor, he works for our U.S. soccer team, which hearing that almost made me walk out the door, because I'm like, I cannot let a guy work on me who works for soccer players. I mean, what if he tries to like fix a vagina that I don't have? I mean, I don't know what to do. But I calmed down and I said, okay, even if he does work on athletic vaginas, he probably knows what he's doing. And of course, I'm just trolling Israel. Dr. Gerhardt is awesome. Great dude, by the way. Anyway, he goes, Aaron, did you ever hurt your hip before? I said, no. He goes, well, how come your, what is it, femur, or is that what it's called? Why is it impacted into your pelvis? Like, why is it? Did you know that? No. Oh, then it dawned on me. When I was playing hockey, this was like in 1999 or something like that. Remember, I fell. The problem is that in hockey, if you fall to your right, you don't really hit your hip because your stick will hold you up. But if you body check too much with your hip, it's called a hip check. That can wear it down, okay? Even though there's pads, it still does. But if you fall, you're going to fall on your left side and you're going to hit your left hip. And I remember coming home from games and sitting in the bathtub and being in a lot of pain. But of course, they give you pain medicine and stuff, and you play again. You don't care. There's probably at some point that I was probably pushing that in, and I should have had it checked, and it probably would have been able to be, repaired. But that was an interesting find, actually. But the point to all this is that it may just be luck. Okay, like I said, I mean, I was hit by people. Horrible stuff happened to me. It looked like I was dead. Wasn't dead. Was fine. Completely fine. Worst I can remember is having the breath knocked out of you. And honestly, that sucks. You feel like you're dying for a second. But I think a lot of this is luck. But you can also help your luck. Like Tom, what Tom does is he does the TB12 method, which pliability. People laugh and make jokes and stuff. It's a real thing. It is a real thing. And one thing I did notice, I noticed that guys like me who are tall and like lanky and thin and stuff, we tend to be able to survive injuries a little better. Those kind of contact injuries. But if your body can give a little bit, and it's to know how to fall. If you get hit, I did martial arts since I was young. So falling, how to fall and how to land, also helps you instinctually, and that could play a factor too. But Tom told himself that's never happening again. And I don't know if pliability would have helped him with the Bernard Pollard thing, but he didn't want anything to happen to him again. So maybe this is a wake-up call for Patrick to say, hey, I need to start throwing from the pocket. Now, I may be assuming too much. I may have been assuming this whole time that Patrick can just do it. He might not be able to. He might not be one of those guys that can process that information. Everyone's different. Doesn't mean he's stupid. Doesn't mean he's bad. There are guys who are great at chess and are complete dumb shit. Okay? Some of the best chess players in the world. Okay? And I follow these guys. Some of them are dumb as rocks. They gave a trivia to 3 of the best players in the world. We're talking chess prodigies, right? These guys couldn't answer basic questions. One guy didn't know how many continents were on the planet. Another guy didn't know that, oh no, all 3 of them didn't know Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa. Okay? One of them couldn't even get a basic algebra problem. Sometimes your brain just doesn't work like that for that thing. And processing defenses and plays in a split second. You guys heard Bill Belichick talk about Brady, how he processes information. Belichick mentions that all the time. And he doesn't mention the other stuff, the quarterback stuff. Why? Because that's obvious. What's Tom Brady's greatest strength is his brain. That was it. That was what was unique. So not everyone can do that. So I may be overly assuming that Patrick can even do this, and he might not be able to. His entire game may be what we see. That may be everything that he is. And if that's the case, I think he's in trouble. But we'll see. I just don't see how a guy can be around as long as he's been around and not develop some kind of mind training for this. Some kind of, but we'll see. All right. So I went on a 30-minute rant here. Kind of ignoring the game because it sucks. I know Pittsburgh needs to win to they're trying to win their division. But every team in the AFC North is pretty much dog shit, except the Steelers. I mean, 7-6. I mean, if they can go 8-6, that's nice, And then you got the Ravens, the Ravens are weird. Me and Israel was talking about this the other night. People look at the Ravens and they see they're having trouble. I've been watching the Ravens since they became the Ravens. Okay? There has never been a time where I look at the Ravens on the schedule, and that's who we're playing, and said, oh, they suck now. This is going to be an easy game. If you ever think the Ravens is an easy game, you are a freaking idiot. Okay? You are a massive idiot. I don't care how bad they look. I don't care if their quarterback looks like he can't play. I don't care what they're doing. There's something about that damn logo and that damn team, no matter, if it's Brian Billick coaching or if it's John Harbaugh, doesn't matter. Something about that damn team that always makes it difficult. I mean, it's just, you just don't know what's going to happen. It's not like other teams where you can be like, okay, we kind of know they're mentally beaten, and you see Cleveland Browns on the schedule, and let's be honest, sorry, Addy, but people are like, yeah, we're probably going to win this. But if you play good football, right? You can at least count on them kind of folding at a certain point. But if you think the Ravens are out of it, I don't trust that. I don't trust it. Okay. Maybe I don't trust them in the playoffs, but I don't trust to be able to say, their record is bad, so this should be okay. Because I saw people saying, the New England Patriots have the easiest schedule left. What the fuck are you looking at, dude? I don't look at the schedule, see Ravens, and go, we got an easy schedule. This ain't easy. We could lose this game, guys. We could lose this game. I mean, this isn't a joke. I don't know these people, man. But anyway, the Steelers, they've got to win this, because I would not count on the Ravens just continuing to suck, or not suck, but lose games. I just wouldn't count on that. Ravens are weird. They're just a weird organization, weird team. Never can figure them out. I just know they've always been a pain in my ass. For any of you guys watching the Peyton Eli, I got both on. I got the Peyton Eli on here, and I got the regular game here. Something weird is going on with Peyton's eyes. Like, he looks different today. Something weird. Oh, touchdown pass. Look at that. The Steelers can score. Interesting. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers celebrating like, hey, we got into the end zone. Yay. Good job. Good job. Good job. Steelers actually might start playing like they're supposed to do. Well, Israel's saying, about Josh, sometimes, the old saying goes, availability is the best ability. I hate it when they have these leftist pricks on their show. I just got to turn it off because it's just disgusts me. I ain't watching that. They sit up there because here's what happens. Their agent tells them it's good for their career if they go on. So they pretend like they know a little bit of football. And they put a hat on or a jersey on of the city they might be from. And they pretend like they know some football, and then they sit there. But their agent really tells them, hey, your career's winding down, or it's a little cold right now. You should go on the Peyton Eli the Manning cast. And, they do that with other sports too. Like, you'll see these celebrities at US Open or Wimbledon, and they don't even know why they're there. And they sit there and they clap. Oh, good job. Good job. Oh, Djokovic is such a great player. Although a month ago I was tweeting about him not getting the shot. He's a piece of shit, right? Oh, it's amazing. But Peyton and Eli always have these people on. So I noticed they've had Obama on. They've had Bush on. They never asked Trump to come on. Trump is the biggest football fan president we've ever had. Dude tried to buy the Buffalo Bills and they wouldn't let him. He wanted to be an NFL owner in the 80s, and that didn't work. So he created his own league, the USFL, which is actually pretty good. And so that's who you put on, That's who you put on. It's somebody who knows football. I'd say Obama probably knows some. So, but yeah, they get these guests that they just don't know anything, and it's all, you can tell, it's all PR bullshit. It's just stupid. Why can't we just have players on? It'd be better. I loved it when Tom Brady was on there. That was awesome. They should have just had Tom on the whole show. That would be good. Yeah, Elva Courage says every team is capable of playing good football. It's organizational issues that hold teams back, and that's the unfortunate truth about it, because every team has great players. Every team has the best athletes. It's, look at the Dallas Cowboys. Ask Israel about the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones micromanaging, and how many times has that held them back? You've got Mike Brown, the owner of the Bengals. We know how that goes. It as an organization, it can really, those are the constants. Usually those are the constants that happen. Consistency too. If you're getting new coaches constantly, that also makes it hard. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to be good, but I mean, at least you notice the good teams, they tend to have coaches that are, you know, even if they weren't good at first, they became good and then they stayed that way for a long time, or they kept their good coach through the bad and they were able to turn it around. It's very rare when that just completely falls apart. So that consistency is also a good thing. But yeah, it starts at the top, honestly. The owners that meddle, not good. You couldn't have more opposite uniforms on the field right now. I mean, the Dolphins look like an Easter Bunny gay pride parade had gone onto the field. And the Steelers look like a bunch of lumberjacks had just busted into this high school cafeteria to take your lunch money. Like, it is like complete opposite. It's so funny looking. I can't believe this team was the best team ever. 72 Dolphins. What a joke. They didn't even play a 16-game season. All right, I'm just trolling. Israel says the Bills actually play their best football in December, except if only the playoffs were in December then, right? So. What did I miss from you guys? Who's the asshole who clicked down like? Thank you. Tua sucks. Tua absolutely sucks. Ace 10098 asked me, do you think Mahomes will recover the same way Brady did? Mahomes, before the ACL injury, was already regressing, so I doubt, which is a bummer. I prefer Mahomes winning over Josh Allen. Interesting. Well, Brady was coming off of the greatest season of any quarterback ever, so that's a good point. Mahomes has been not crazy. I think people have overstated his fall, but there has been, something going on. So that's a good point. Also, he's going to return to a team that is going to look very different than it does now, and that it has looked. That's an issue. And we saw how that was a problem. Tom even came back to some familiarity, and 2009 was a complete bust, So Tom actually became a better quarterback after the injury, which is weird. But yeah, that's weird. That's not supposed to happen. I don't think that's normal. So he's kind of strange, right? Give Tom a call. Yeah. I guarantee you. Okay. I think he was content on being retired. And now that he saw Phillip Rivers and everybody like making a big deal out of Phillip Rivers, a lot of people seem to be, it's funny. It's like after the Seahawks game, it's changed. Now people are kind of like rooting for Phillip. But I think Tom see that and maybe he's like, I don't think he will, because it would be too much crap. He'd have to do a lot. He'd have to like get rid of his Raiders ownership. He'd have to say put his broadcasting on hold, which would be over. Anyway, they'd replace him. Yeah, it's not going to happen, but I guarantee you he's kind of like, damn, I wish I was just sitting at home doing nothing and I could come back and it wouldn't be a problem. And if that was the case, if he was just like Philip, just doing the home life or whatever, something that he could leave and it wouldn't be a big deal. Actually, I think Tom might be back, would be back in that case. I really do. Ace says, I also think this Mahomes season is worse than any Brady season in his 20-year career. Brady's worst season was either 2019 or 2022, and I would take those two over this atrocity. That's fair. That's fair. But in Mahomes' defense, Tom Brady wasn't born on planet Earth. So it's kind of like playing chess against AI. It's not a fair fight, is it? And by the way, those worst seasons of Tom, they were still pretty good. And like his 2019 season wasn't bad if you put him in comparison to other people. And he was old as shit. It's so funny. Like in football years, he was old. I had to say that. Regarding the injury talk, Israel says some of these guys just hit the genetic lottery and some don't. Joe Burrow can't stay healthy while Josh Allen can. Tapasio says he's done. Haha, John's accusing Israel of acting towards Allen like Collinsworth acts for Mahomes. Uh-oh. Next thing we know, we're going to have Israel going, hey, here's a guy that can come and shave the hair off my balls. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If anybody just logged into that, that's not what we normally talk about here on Von Allen Sports. Courage says, maybe a team like the Texans could sign Eli Manning. Eli at his age could take this Texans team to a Super Bowl. Maybe. I don't know, but I'm not sold on the Texans quarterback situation. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I'm not convinced that they can make a run. Not yet. Not yet. Has anyone done a wellness check on Collinsworth recently post Mahomes injury? Yeah. Yeah, we should do one on Romo and Christine Sims. We should do one on what's that really ugly dude with the messed up nose? Well, messed up everything, messed up face. Nick Wright. Should check on him too, I guess. You know what? Don't check on him. I don't care. I can't stand that piece of shit. So. But you can check on Collinsworth and Romo and see how they're doing. Christine Sims, Nepo baby. He's only got his job because his daddy is Phil Sims. Nobody can be that wrong and suck that bad and keep their job. Well, unless you're Skip Bayless. But at least Skip is entertaining and fun to laugh at. Chris Sims is just boring. Raise your hand if you think the New England Patriots acted like a bunch of pansies the other day. Yeah, you had Hollins out there celebrating after every play like a retard. You would think that he was a cheerleader. And then you had the teammates in the end zone telling Drake May he's MVP. It's like, guys, we got a game to play. You know? I mean, do you think that's Geno Smith that's quarterbacking the Bills over there, dude? 21-0, 21-0. You know how easily that could be 21-21. How easily. It was just they were acting like they won the game. Yeah, I remember being up 21-0 in the AFC Championship game against Peyton Manning. I remember that shit too. We know how that turned out. What's this celebrating shit? Mike Vrabel should have known better. When they went up 21-0, he was over there celebrating. I have to say, I kind of understand now why Bill Belichick never celebrated touchdowns. It's actually not a good look. I don't know if I like it. I don't think I like it. I think maybe coaches shouldn't do that. And yes, there were some questionable calls in the second half. There were a few. But we have bigger problems. We are talented enough to get a 21-0 lead on the Buffalo Bills, but not disciplined enough to hold it. That's the problem right there. And that says everything. Because you know why? That's the playoffs. That's how the playoffs work. Is that you can get a lead on somebody, but you have to hold it. You have to know how to hold it. And this is one game, okay? So that was bad. If they learned from this one game, then everything's okay. But if that was indicative of who they are, it's over. It's over. So we'll find out. I have a feeling that that's never happening again. I just cannot believe they would get another lead like that and Vrabel would do something, they would do everything the same way. I just don't think so. I would be shocked if we see Vrabel even celebrating touchdowns the rest of the season. That would surprise me. But he was over there celebrating like a fan, you know. And I don't mind his player friendly ish type thing he's got going on. I think that probably people have convinced me that probably works now with the way how soft these players are, but you still have to draw a line somewhere. You still have to, you know, it's. Damn, that throw from Aaron. Wow. I mean, it's against the Dolphins, but that was good. That was good. DK Metcalf. Can't. Minuteman says Vrabel acted like Gerard Mayo in the second half. Serial killer coach isn't happy. Wow, it's only 7:00. Feels later than that. Maybe because I got on here late. Okay, that literally made no difference. I put this little light on to the left of me. No point. No. No point. No point. Yeah, Phil Williamson, guys. If you didn't see what Phil Williamson just said, he's got a good point. He says the 2007 Patriots probably needed a game like that, and that is, well, hindsight is 2020, right? I mean, if Randy catches that throw from Tom, it was about a half a yard short, I think. Well, it was still there, but it got broken up. But if it was a little farther out where the defense couldn't touch it, then we kick a field goal and go to overtime. Maybe we win. Then, yeah, everything changes, right? But to Phil's point, if we had taken that loss, let's say, okay, we should have lost to Baltimore. If you guys remember that game. Should have lost to Baltimore. Almost lost to Philadelphia. Could have lost to New York in week 17. If one of those had been a loss. You wonder what would have changed. What could have changed. Or maybe it wouldn't have made a difference. I don't know. But I did think that our offensive players were a bit arrogant at the media day leading up to 2007 or the Super Bowl 42. I remember thinking, why are they acting like that? Like I knew we were on a mission and we were trying to get payback and all that against the NFL and everything, but the Giants did give us a hard time, you know. And that was a different Giants team from week 17. We had seen them and what they had done on the road. I think they went through Tampa Bay. They went through Dallas, Tony Romo's Cowboys, and they went through Brett Favre in Green Bay. This was a different team that we were seeing. And I thought we were going to win, but I don't know. It was just, I never liked that. I like confidence, but I don't like arrogance. I don't like, yeah, you know? And maybe that's missing that day, you know? But that throw, man, to Metcalf just now. Okay, now did you see Tomlin's reaction to that touchdown? I think that was okay. That was okay. That's different. That's a different celebration. So what Tomlin was doing right there, that was let's fucking go. We got to win this game. We're out of we're not going to make the playoffs. We're not going to win the division. We got to win this game. Let's put the dagger in. That's a little different reaction than what I was talking about with Vrabel. Vrabel was like, Drake May, MVP, yeah, high baby, you know? I would have been fine with Vrabel just going, fuck yeah, and just walking on. That's cool. But he was acting like a damn fan on the sidelines, dude. Laughing it up. No, sorry. Watch the Dolphins come back now. That'd be funny. They're not, because their quarterback is Tua. We were facing Josh Allen. The big difference. So. Did we ever thank Rex Ryan for calling timeout on 4th and 2? Dude, did you know that Brian Billick took the blame for that? Like, everybody thought that Brian Billick called that timeout until they got all, everyone got it all sorted out. But that's some funny shit right there. Tua sucks. This dude is awful. I mean, he is just trash. He is bad. Hey, by the way, Steelers are doing this without TJ Watt. I don't think he's playing tonight. You see that guy acting hurt after he tripped? That's so funny. The Dolphins. Just replace the D with an L, and that's who they are. John Thomas Chavez says New England having their win streak broken by Pittsburgh in 2004 probably helped them down the stretch. It was a completely different game. Yeah, that's a good point. Because that team ends up in the ends up in the AFC Championship game with no losses, and then loses to Pittsburgh, and maybe that's when Pittsburgh breaks the streak. So. It's a good thing it broke during regular season. You know what? It would have been nice to go undefeated, but I don't know. It's not worth it. It's not worth the risk. Like, it's just the Patriots came the closest ever with a 16-game season, and they're probably the closest it will ever be because now there's 17 games. So now you have to win another game on top of that. It's probably not likely. That's for damn sure, John. John says Tua sucks and he still has a better mindset than Joe Burrow right now. I'll tell you what. So let me tell you something that is really pathetic. What you could do is you could take Joe Burrow's statements recently and put them right next to Phillip Rivers' post-game press conference. And you got Joe Burrow, I'm not having fun, and if it's not fun, why am I doing it? And then Phillip Rivers, yeah, man, I mean, we almost won. I wish we could have won, but we were there. It worked out the way we thought it did. How do you feel, Phillip? I feel blessed. When I was just listening to the national anthem and being with my teammates and walking through the stadium, everything was just amazing. I'm so lucky. The difference between those two, and the mindset it's just these young guys, man. They no offense to you guys who are young, like John and Israel and you guys. But these new generations, man, they're just not. You have your certain guys that aren't like that, but there's way too many of these people talking like this, and I don't know. I think I told you guys back in 2019. I hope the Andrew Luck thing didn't start a trend. So. Because they make so much money, off their second contract. I mean, they can just quit in year year 6 or 7, and they're going to be worth $200 million. They're going to make what guys like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning used to make in a 10-year, 20-year career. You know, they'll make that by year 6. It's crazy. But even with money, there's certain guys that you can't keep them off the field. It's just. And then Joe Burrow wants to know why they played like crap and why they got shut out. Well, you know, dude, when you say stuff like that, your teammates are going to be like, okay, hold up. So our quarterback's not having fun because we're losing. Does he think that we're having fun? Does he think that we like losing? Or is he blaming us? I mean, there's a lot of things that can go in through a player's head. Doesn't matter what we think Joe meant. It doesn't matter if some people think, oh, Joe meant it was the ownership or it was the coaches or it was this or it was that. It was the general manager or whatever. Doesn't matter what we think Joe thought. How are the players going to respond to that? That's what's troubling about it. Would you want to play for a quarterback who talked like he did? I mean, just let me tell you something. I've seen offensive linemen that would quite literally take a bullet for their quarterbacks. I mean, literally. Like if they were walking outside to a restaurant with them, some dude stepped in front of them with a gun, they'd fucking take that bullet. I'm not joking. All right? I've seen these people. These are the guys that you want to believe. You want them to believe. Okay? I don't care if you think they're trash. If they're trying their best, you at least need to encourage their best or try to get the best out of them. Okay? So you take them. They're like a wet towel and you fucking squeeze that shit until it's all out, right? And you telling me you think that's going on in Cincinnati? I don't think so. I don't think so. For a lot of offensive linemen, this is a way of life. They take protection very seriously. They take their job seriously. And everything they do, it's like a real thing for them. Not all of them, but I'm saying there are. There are some like that. The dudes that are responsible for trying to keep you safe are the guys you need to encourage. I'm not saying coddle them and baby them. If they're screwing up, you tell them. I'm talking about encouragement, and they'll respect you for that. But when the narrative around the entire Bengals organization is the offensive line sucks, and that's the narrative, everyone knows this. It's not a secret. Everyone says these things. So when Joe Burrow says what he says, who do you think is going to think that it's about? The offensive line. And all the linemen are going to be getting together talking shit now. Oh, so it's our fault. You just made it worse. And then you get shut out and you wonder, you go, oh, well, I played bad today. Yeah. Exactly. Interesting. Stupid ass. These guys, I mean, they're so into being celebrities now. It's getting so bad. Okay. There's a backup quarterback on the Bengals. I didn't even know they had a third backup. All right. And his girlfriend or wife is like all over the internet right now, just for an outfit she's wearing. And she's just acting like a complete hooker. It's so weird, man. It's just, they're all obsessed with the internet. Like, it's not focused at all. It's why I'm rooting for the old guys. It's why I want to see Aaron play well. It's why I was excited for Phillip to come back. That's one good thing about Drake May is that he's married to his high school sweetheart. So It doesn't seem to be, he doesn't seem to be that type that we're going to see at nightclubs and shit all the time and always on TikTok or TMZ for something. That's good. That's so far anyway. Can the Dolphins at least make a game of this? This sucks. Oh my God, Israel, yes. So the college players being paid, that is the dumbest decision. By the time these guys get to the NFL, these guys get to the NFL, you thought they were prima donnas before? That's contributed to this. And listen, your pay for being a college player was a free education. That was your pay. Okay? You weren't paying shit. And you're treated like a celebrity on campus. You get everything you want. We know these guys aren't getting passing grades. They're walking out with degrees. Okay? They're all dumb as shit. Or like 90% of them. Most of them can't even read. Some of them, you see the test they take, the NFL test. What's that? What's that stupid test called? Anyway, the Wonderlic test. You see their scores, and then you go, "Oh, this guy's got a degree." And what? Baking? Like, what is this? So they got a free education. They got a free degree because they didn't earn it. They're treated like celebrities. They have endorsements coming out the ass already right as soon as they get out. Isn't that enough? Is that not enough? I don't understand. And they have to be paid too? Oh, but the colleges are making so much money. Of course they are. That's why they're paying your fucking, that's why they're sponsoring you. That's why they're giving you those things. That's why that you're living there. That's why you're getting all your education done. That's it. Of course they're making money off of it. What do you think a university is doing? You think it's a charity? You think MIT is doing that for the love of the fucking science? No, dude. That's money. Okay? For every MIT and Caltech is connected to every Lockheed Martin and Boeing. All right? That's it. That's money. Of course college is going to make money off of it. That's the purpose of it. And guess what? Those bowl games that they make a lot of money off of, it doesn't just pay for football. It's what pays for new lab equipment in the science lab. It's what pays for rebuilding the library. It's what pays for all of that. And now we've got to split it with a bunch of college kids who are supposed to be amateurs? I'm sorry, but last time I checked, getting paid is professional. That's a professional. The Dolphins can't stop anything. This is a joke. Yeah, the networks are making money, and without the networks, the bowl games aren't as big, and there's not as much money. It's all for profit, obviously. But just because they're making money doesn't justify why the players should get paid. You know? About the only thing I agree with is, or I'm okay with, is like, if your name is in a video game or something, that's pretty cool to be able to get, like a royalty check for that or something. Why not? That's not bad. That's not a big deal. But I know it's way worse than that. I know it's gone way above that. So, but things like a video game, for example, that's an external element. That's not really relevant to the actual college, university, and players and all that stuff. So Now, I do think you should get paid if they're still selling your likeness after you're away from college. So, you know, like if they're wanting to do that, let's say you're a famous alumni, you know, and 20 years down the road, they're reselling your stuff or whatever, and then maybe you should get a cut of that. Might not be too bad. But we have to see, right? Yeah, I don't even know, if responding to the Generation Xers not coming back to play football. I don't even know if guys like us, like, are young people still doing what we used to do? So before we were even in like organized sports at school, we were playing backyard football. I know for us, all of the kids in the neighborhood, we'd meet at the armory. So there's this National Guard armory that had this huge open field next to it. This is next to all the military trucks. It was very cool. And we'd play football there just all day long. It was full tackle, full hit, all that. And I don't know, man. It's just, I don't even, do kids do that anymore? You see some of these kids, they're like little superstars when they're in Pop Warner. You know? It's creepy. It's very weird. John Thomas Chavez says Shadir Sanders is the perfect example. Stupid name. Shadir Sanders is the perfect example of a quarterback being coddled and paid too much too soon in college. Alpha Courage says Shadir fell faster than Morningstar. Elf says, isn't also the reason EA no longer makes college football video games? I don't know if they do or not. Do they? I assume they still made them, but maybe they don't. But I wouldn't be opposed to, I wouldn't think, unless I'm missing something, I wouldn't think that getting paid for the video game is probably too bad. But the university should be able to monetize you while you're a student there, as far as like selling your jersey in the league shop or the pro shop and pictures of you and things like that while you're there. They are paying for everything for you. So I think that's fair. I think the way it was fair, honestly. So I think it's a good deal. It's a good trade. So another touchdown. So think about this, guys. You're a college kid, university kid. You're getting you're playing football. You hope you go to the NFL. Let's say you don't go to the NFL, but you've got a degree that was paid for. Cool. You're going to be able to get something if your degree actually means something. If you didn't take it in, like, as Ben says, lesbian dance theory or something, you'll probably have a job. But let's say you go to the NFL and you have a short career. You've got that degree to fall back on. How awesome is that? I just think, and then you made some cash while you were in the NFL, get you started. You know, that's If you're smart, if you're not a complete dumbass and you go out and buy a Rolls Royce after you got drafted in the 6th round, you know, but if you're not an idiot, you know, so they do it on Madden. Crossbearer says on Rumble. They play Madden instead of playing it. That's scary. I mean, I figured they played Madden, but they do that in place of playing. I mean, we had football too. We had Tecmo Bowl. Actually, we had Madden as well, but it just wasn't online. See, for us, if you wanted to play football with someone, if you want to play Madden or Tecmo Bowl or 10-yard fight or something like that, you had to do this weird thing where you're sitting in the same room next to your friends. It's a very weird concept. It was, I know. It's hard to believe. But we actually had to be together. And that's how you played. So. Who remembers this music? Da na 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 na. Da na 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 na. Da na 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 na. Da na 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 na. Oh, that's the music when you run with the ball. I remember when Tecmo Bowl became Super Tecmo Bowl. With the release of the Super Nintendo. So they took the Tecmo Bowl game and they just repolished it to look better for the Super Nintendo. Same game. Like nothing was any different. And I remember the difference in quality was like, oh my God, look how good this looks. This looks amazing. And then if you go back and look at it now, it's pretty rough. Everyone ran the damn ball with Bo Jackson. Do you know how I always played? Everyone always wanted to be the Raiders. I picked the Oilers. And with the Oilers, you could take Warren Moon and you could launch it all the way across the field to Ernest Givens or Haywood Jeffries, and it would be a touchdown. It would the ball would just go forever. It was funny. You could do some of that with the Bills as well. You could have Jim Kelly to Andre Reed, and then you could run the ball at Thurman Thomas. There were certain teams in Tecmo Bowl that you could exploit. Like you could exploit other people that had these little tricks and stuff. But the Raiders was the one that everybody went to. There was a point where we had to tell people that you couldn't pick the Raiders because it wasn't fun anymore. Because you couldn't catch Bo Jackson. Like once you figured it out, you couldn't catch him. And something like that happened in another game. It was a PlayStation game called NHL 96, maybe. It's one of them in the 90s. And let's see, who was the player? Oh, yeah, Vancouver Canucks. If you were the Vancouver Canucks and you were Pavel Bure, the Russian Rocket, you couldn't hit him, and you couldn't knock the puck off of him. You couldn't take it, and all he would do was just skate around. If you were the Canucks and you just skate around with Pavel, then you would score, and it got really stupid. And then you would say nobody can be Vancouver now. It's funny how these games like have these little exploits. What happens is they program a guy just too much and they didn't really anticipate it. I don't even know, did they even have beta testing back then and the way they do now, to the extent they have now? I think they just kind of played the game a little bit, but they didn't explore every little detail of it, because there were all kinds of things like that back in the old Nintendo games. Nefertiti. Nefertiti. Warren Moon was the shit. That's right. Yep, Marino to Duper. That's right. Hell yeah. What's up, Eric? How you doing, man? Man, that was the good old days, huh? What are they doing now? It's delay a game. Oh, now they're playing because Pittsburgh's going into prevent here. Shit. Are you serious? This is a Eric Coley says this is Pittsburgh's 26th straight Monday night win. Did not know that. That's impressive. You know, Monday Night Football used to mean something back in the day. Run to a run. Israel says that Tua has a pathetic mindset. You might want to check out his press conferences. I actually don't know. Did he catch that? He did. Wallen, what's he doing on the Dolphins? Or Waller, sorry. He was a Raider. I remember him on the Raiders. He's watch him. He's probably been on the Dolphins for like years. Can't keep with everybody. Can't keep up with everybody. And I took that year off last year, so there's some players I'm behind on, or transactions that I'm a little surprised by. So last year was a rough year. It's for us personally. It's just football was the last thing on our minds. Yeah, Elva Courage. These guys are garbage, right? So probably not even worth it. Oh. Give me just a second, guys. I'm going to close these windows, and I got to stand up for a second. My legs have fallen asleep. Don't go anywhere. There's 69 of you. Hey, that's a good number. There better be 69 of you when I get back. Okay, so. Oh, yeah. Shit, I need a new one of these. Can you get out of the basement? She's stuck in her basement. Okay. I had to get it myself because Nefertiti's in the basement and I accidentally double locked her chains. And I actually don't know how to undo the second set of chains. So I'll have to figure that out later. But we can't have her roaming freely when I'm not paying attention. So okay, I have one grape left. It's actually green, but the green screen is turned at that color. But I have one grape left. And it looks really good. But my cat decided to lick the entire thing. And I can literally see the cat spit on it. So that's not going to work. Okay. I'll just wipe my hands off here. Okay. And that's why you keep wet wipes around when you have pets. Yes, so I do keep Milena in a, well, I would call it a box. It's more like a cage. Because a box you generally can't see through. A cage you can see through. So I have her in a cage. She does have Wi-Fi. I do give her that. But I can't remember how to unlock the second group of locks. So it's a combo. I don't know the combo. And you guys don't ever see her because I make her wear a hijab. So she's not allowed to, you know? It is a fancy cage. Yeah, it is. You're right. So it's funny, man. Like Wi-Fi is quite generous. I agree. I think it's very nice of me. Minuteman says send in a portable toilet. All right, let's not get crazy. Come on, man. Don't you think that's going too far? I'm a man. You know? It's like no. What do you think I am? You think I'm rich? Okay, well, I asked for the Dolphins to score something, and they did. But they can't stop anything now. So Pittsburgh's probably just going to go right down the field. Let's see, Aaron. Let's see what he's going to do. Steelers. All right. Oh, hey, look, I come back and it still says 69. Is that even accurate? I've been wondering about that. Check this real quick. What? That doesn't make any sense. YouTube is doing something very, very strange. So it says here that we have 68 viewers, but if you go to the video, it says 13. Very, very odd. Huh. Yeah, that's misleading. And that's not good if people who are logging in to check this out see it. Because they think, oh, only 13 people are watching, it's not worth watching. You know what I'm saying? Why can't YouTube just be normal? Yeah, because see, my numbers is done through the program, but it's through the YouTube Studio, which has the exact numbers. Okay, whatever. Who cares? All right. Well, anyway, this game is pretty much over. So there's really, I think I said everything I wanted to say anyway tonight. I'm not going to keep you guys late like I did last time. But Tua just got sacked. Let's watch this Dolphins drive, and then we'll call it if they don't get anywhere. They just had to get a first down. What about Drake May blocking that? I'm just glad he stayed out of the way for the most part. Yeah, he doesn't need to be blocking. He doesn't need to be doing any of that. What do I think about Rob Reiner? I don't know. Piece of shit. He was a piece of shit, but his son did it, right? So he didn't become a saint all of a sudden. I know a lot better people than him who have gone through a lot worse. Another first down. Rob Reiner was one of the ringleaders involved in the Russia collusion impeachment bullshit. Trump getting shot. Trump almost getting again. Him being arrested. And Charlie dying. Charlie being assassinated. He was the ringleader of that kind of rhetoric. After Rush Limbaugh died, he took shots at him. So, what am I supposed to do? You want me to light a candle or just something? Not you, I mean, but does people want me to light a candle or something? I did see a lot of people virtue signaling, people saying, I didn't agree with them politically, but I would never want this. And well, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Nobody's sitting around, well, unless you got like a derangement syndrome or something, but nobody's sitting around wanting that. Why do you always have to say that caveat or something? Just don't say anything. I wasn't going to bring it up. You asked me, but let's just say I'm not going to lose sleep over it. How about that? Made some good movies, though. Fucking YouTube. Fuck you guys. I missed that call. I missed that stadium being called Three Rivers Stadium. That was a that was a that was a cool name for a stadium. This old shit right there. And then I got used to Heinz Stadium, and now I don't know what is it called now? Touchdown. What's going on here? Hey, what's up, kiddo? You want to say hi? No, it's the microphone. See, you got to talk. Meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Ah, okay. Good job. Oh, he couldn't even catch it. He threw it a little high, but that was catchable. Had Allen Sports, that's right. I just wish the onside kick had a little more. I don't know. They're taking all the fun out of football. You can't strategize anymore. You can't. They just completely messed up this game. Steelers fans all went home, or they're heading out the door. They're like, I gotta work tomorrow. So, as do you guys probably. Unless you got one of those weird jobs where you're like off on Tuesdays. So. It's always funny seeing quarterbacks at the end of their career having nothing but gray. That was ugly. Adam Thielen, of all people, couldn't catch it. He wasn't even looking at the ball. He was like looking kind of like this to the side. That was weird. What are these guys doing? Hey, Dolphins got 3 timeouts. They're on the other side of the 2-minute warning. They are on the side that you want to be. And then they get another onside. If they get another onside kick chance, they just got to stop the first down here. They can't allow a field goal. Well, no, they got to stop them. They got to put them back, actually. Imagine being named Gainwell and you're running back. Minuteman says, I'm working now. What are you talking about? Ace says, I stopped showing up to my job. You're like the guy in Office Space. I'm just not going to go into work tomorrow. What do you mean you're not going to go into work? Won't they fire you? What are you going to do about paying bills? You know, I never really liked paying bills either. I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. How are you going to pay your rent? You know, I don't even like paying rent. I'm not doing that anymore. So. It's a good movie. I remember watching that movie on TV through the direct where you can rent it on demand or whatever. I don't even know if they do that anymore, but you could rent it through your cable company, so the cable company would charge you on your bill. If I remember correctly, that was the same year that the Rams beat the Titans in the Super Bowl. Not literally the same year. I mean, I think I watched that movie in 99 and the Super Bowl was in 2000. But I just remember it's the same time because I can remember where I lived at the time and the apartment I lived in. I was living in Dallas, Texas. But I like Ace's answer. I stopped showing up to my job. He didn't say he quit. He didn't say he was fired. He just said, I just stopped showing up. Fight Club and American Beauty also came out there. That's true because I remember going to see Fight Club with some friends, and it was that year. Yep, that's right. What the shit? All right. Fair enough. Smart play. Yeah. Aikman's right. I mean, all of a sudden, the Dolphins are pretending like they want to play football. Like, what is that? I mean, it was just a little unnecessary, but that's why Aaron was mad. Okay, so Dolphins have no timeouts, but they have the 2-minute warning. So they're going to get one free playoff here. But they've got a long way to go to make this interesting, or to make it even worth the onside kick. So I'll stick around a little longer, but I have a very bad feeling that an interception is about to come. Right, Amelia? What do you think? What do you think? Yeah, John, true. No, don't hit the microphone. So if you need to run it, you need to get some room out of the back of the end zone. You know you got the 2-minute warning, so that's when you take it. So there's at least some fundamental football there from the serial killer coach. Hey, they can see your tail in the shot. You don't care though, do you? Oh yeah, guys, I think I fixed the problem from the other night. Remember when there was like a weird delay, like where it looked like my movements. So I think I was connected to too many hosts, to too many. I was broadcasting to too many places. So I removed 2 targets that were completely unnecessary and were not helping me at all. Twitch, unless you're playing video games on that, it's really not useful. It's not a broadcast place because they don't even keep the broadcast anyway. And I was broadcasting to Facebook, and I took that off too because I never ever get any traction there. So I get most of my viewers from X. That's the majority. Like, yeah, usually. So just sharing things with you guys about how stuff like this works. Don't know if you're interested or not, but that's the way it is. I mean, that's just how it works, you know? So boom, 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 boom. Yeah, see? No delay, no nothing. Though I'm not sure I think that latency is too much now. I think I went the other direction, too far the other direction. Yeah, that's like it's like a whole 30-second delay. I don't know if I like that. Unless it's a big game, like a very important game. But I noticed y'all's responses are really like long after I had already said something. So something's not right. I might have gone too far. Office Space or Idiocracy? Idiocracy. Nothing beats that movie is so funny. It's just too funny. Nefertiti likes that movie too. I let her watch it down in the vault. So you like licking the Coke bottle? So Amelia, she licks the bottle because it's got water coming out of it. There you go, kiddo. Run, you idiot, run! And that'll end it right there. The one thing you can't do here in this situation is take a sack. You got to throw to the sidelines. Throw incomplete if you have to, but you just don't run. What are you doing? Where are you running to? Where are you going to run to? It ain't going to matter. Why are you throwing up the middle? Oh. Again. Okay, guys, say it with me. Sideline. Sideline. So, I want you guys to understand that there's a guy right now named Tua Tagovailoa that is getting paid millions of dollars, generational wealth, by the way, that his great grandkids are going to be rich because of him, if they're not stupid. And he is getting that money and not even understanding the basic fundamentals of this 2-minute drill, while everybody else has to work for a living. This is amazing. Is this what they call? I don't know. It's just weird. Nobody has ever. Israel says nobody's ever torn their ACL this great. Mahomes continues to set the bar. Hey, I'll tell you. After this play, I'll tell you something about that. If you came on late, I spoke about Mahomes' injury at the beginning of the show, so you'd have to go back and watch it. But all I ever saw on X was how Mahomes was on pace to equal Brady, and he's showing pace. Well, he's on pace now, I guess. Tearing his ACL, right? What is this crap? This is so stupid. Doesn't matter now. The game's over, but that'll do it. And does this shirt say inspire change? Change what exactly? That's commie talk right there. That's Marxist talk. Okay? I'm actually not joking this time. I'm actually serious. That's Marxist talk. Those are the kind of trigger words they use to excuse what they're doing and why they need to eliminate the established culture, the established history, the established whatever it is, where they're trying to change it. Inspire change. Change what exactly? What are you wanting to change? What is it that you're talking about? Tell me. Change just for the sake of changing it? Just saying. Change. Change you can believe in. Inspire change. Oh, it sounds so good. Oh, makes me feel good about myself. Greatest of all time. Joe Barry just told Aaron Rodgers he was the greatest of all time. What? 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 Oh, I get it. Mahomes is out. Mahomes is out, so they're going to default back to licking Aaron's ass. That's it. That's it. So he was their default guy before Mahomes, right? So Israel says, in my opinion, nobody has ever torn their ligament as great as Mahomes. I mean, did you see the way he got up and hobbled on the sidelines? It was legendary. LeBron couldn't do it. Actually, that's true. LeBron couldn't do it. He would have been wheeled off. So I was wheeled off, actually. What am I saying? But I broke my hip, though. That's a little different. You can still walk with a torn ACL, but you break your hip, you actually can't walk. You can't stand up. It won't work. Even if you wanted to, you can't. They had to put me in an office chair to get me to the car. It was funny. It was actually pretty entertaining. Inspired change. So inspiring. Inspired change. Please. Are you going to inspire change the year the pennies discontinued? Yes, let's continue this. Our money is going to be worthless at some point. All right, I'm going to go. I think I've said everything I want to say. All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate it. Oh, Elf, something happened. I didn't see you signed up for Patreon, but it never came through. So you might have to redo it because I never got it on my side. So I don't know what the hell's going on. Somebody else signed up too, and I never got it. So you might want to check that. Stupid websites never make anything easy. Spare change. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Good night, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see y'all Thursday.
Von Allen Sports.
This is Patriots linebacker, Super Bowl 49 champ, Darius Fleming, and you're watching Von Allen Sports, real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now. Join the empire. Von Allen Sports, let's go!
Von Allen Sports. Von Allen Sports.
This is the man with the most badass name in sports. The Pharaoh, the Egyptian god himself, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And on behalf of my man Von Allen, we want to thank you for your support. Let's fucking go.
Von Allen Sports.
Von Allen.